welcome to the Book of Ramblings. I am Hugo, this is João.
Hello, it's me.
And this is Philippe.
Hi.
And we are continuing our discussion on education, more specifically university and whatever.
It's just education
it's
now.
just education at this point. It was supposed to be university, but...
The first episode was.
As the title suggests, we went rambling.
As we do.
As we do. And we ended the last episode on Philippe being very...
Rudely interrupted.
Yes.
Sure. I got no shit.
And I was just hinting about how school might be deemed as brainwashing. Yeah. And I think Philippe wanted to say something about that.
Yeah, I wanted to touch a bit on that. And I think there's two sides to that, which is, in a sense, all social interaction is formatting you.
Yes.
Such as this one.
So, dun, dun, dun.
And especially when you're very young and you don't know nothing.
Yeah,
so
you're
everything they tell you is true, you know? So if someone tells you the world is flat, it's flat until someone tells you otherwise. You know what I mean?
The world is a pretzel.
The world is a pretzel. The world is pretzel shaped. Everyone knows that.
But if they told you, so
I saw Philippe struggling. He didn't know what to do.
There was a bit of a moment there, you know. So what I'm saying is that there's an extent to which, you know, school would always have that position, you know, where you're there at very young age. So everything they'll tell you, they'll be formatting you. So
okay, but there's a. So there's levels of formatting.
True.
Right, there's parents and school, which are like they build a base on everything you know from that moment on. That's what I mean by formatting. Because sure, you might say the world is flat or a pretzel or a donut or whatever shape, like, but that's not meta knowledge. It's not the things you build upon. That's already
true. That's already like a I understand what you mean.
Do you understand?
I understand what you mean. But what I'm saying is that
it's not your like primordial conceptions of the world, not your primal things.
Yeah, I understand. But like those things are not usually taught outright. You know, it's a bit what we're talking about in competition and cooperation. Yeah, it's things that are taught by the context.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I mean.
Okay.
That's exactly so. Maybe the system wouldn't be so individualistic if we had. But that's school.
Yeah, but I think there's a circular logic here in the sense that
there is, yes, obviously.
The school system won't change because what controls it?
It's not in a silo or in a bubble. It's everything has influence on everything.
Yeah.
So.
You know what you're reminding me of? There's this one clip somewhere of Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about how what's it called? How the lottery is a big scheme.
Oh yes,
you know what I mean.
I've seen that clip. I've seen that episode actually.
He's saying that the
it's on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
He's talking about how this is in the States.
Yeah.
So how a part of or a greater part of the money people put into lottery goes into education.
Yes.
And what he says is that if it wasn't a scheme, they would actually teach proper statistics.
He's wrong.
Yeah,
they teach it in Portugal, and people still fall for it.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
You're wrong.
It's not because there's a misunderstanding there of how people work, which is a misunderstanding that economics someone takes that people are logical.
No.
Logical.
Mind
We're
you,
not logical.
He does say in that clip that he says it's a conspiracy theory that he doesn't believe in.
Yeah, he's joking. It's
a joke, but it's an interesting concept that if people understood statistics, they wouldn't go into the lottery.
People
understand statistics, but
they believe, and belief is so. And if they won, if they won, it would be like life changing. If they won, it would be life changing.
It's a fallacy.
So you know,
it's a fallacy. Teach me about fallacies, Hugo.
It's a fallacy. That's just it.
But I think we've talked about fallacies.
I don't know the name of the fallacy.
The specific
we should do an episode about...
Haven't we?
No, we didn't.
No.
We've talked about fallacies a lot.
We should do an episode on bias like
Sure.
Survivor bias and stuff
and
like that.
on all kinds of
We're gonna the next when we
perception
start
bias.
bias, we'll do it for the rest of the year. Bias the whole.
There's a whole a lot of stuff, but it's stuff I really enjoy.
Yeah. So I think it's a good topic.
Stuff I really enjoy.
But I think that's the thing. Going back to the knowing statistics, I think that's a bit of the what we're talking about. To how that brainwashing is not as much in hard knowledge and more like this kind of knowledge of how society works.
Yes.
And that's why do you believe you're the one that's gonna win? Because there's kind of this feeling that anyone can do it, you know? Because your parents always played, your grandparents always played, and even after you know that mathematically it's very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. And then it's more systemic, like when you think there's nothing else going on for your life, and how we put wealth on a pedestal in our society, and how wealth.
If I won, all my problems would be solved. That's a lie.
Yeah, also statistics.
Some of them would.
Yeah,
some of them would.
But that's the thing.
And the ones that wouldn't be solved, you would have more time to solve them because now you don't have to worry about money.
I think what you're talking about is
also different problems will arise.
Yes, I think what we're talking about is a lot of people that end up in poverty a little bit while after that because
I'm going to be honest.
The system doesn't want you to win.
I'm going to be honest. If you're betting on the lottery, there's a very high chance you're going to end there anyway because the same mentality that makes you think lottery is a good option to win money.
Okay.
It's the same mentality that's...
You mean risk takers?
Okay.
Yeah, risk taking is actually something. So in economics, you have to take risks. It's
it's part of it.
You either take risks or you don't. So in the sense of growth, of economical growth, you either take risks or you stay the same.
Yeah.
Or even go down. But regarding I forgot the name for it, but it's a risk that's not justified. Lottery.
Mm-hmm.
So you're earning a lot like even if you win, the chances of you winning make it a bad bet. It's not fair. It's not a fair bet. There's a book, Thinking Fast and Slow. I've referenced it.
You have
previously. Yeah,
when we talk about learning, probably.
I think so, yes. And there's somewhere in the book he talks about if you would take 50% chance to win 200 euros or 100% chance of winning 100 euros.
We talked about this in the previous season.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like
the statistics episode. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Mathematically, the chances are the same. So the cost benefit of both is the same. Of course, you take probably depending on where you are in life and etc. So depending on you would take one or the other, right? But mathematically, they're the same bet.
Yeah,
and that's what people kind of fail to see with lottery, and what they fail to see with other bets in their lives is you don't. And also, they treat it as if it was a singular event. It's never a singular event. You're gonna have more opportunities in life. Yeah. It's not just that thing. So I think you're gonna take more shots. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but I think that's where belief comes into it.
Yeah,
and like
it's annoying.
That's like. I think it's not a logical, and I think that's what I was talking about. That's the problem with seeing economic actors as logical beings.
Yes,
which the current system does.
Yes. What do you mean, economical actors?
Us.
A company.
We are economical actors.
Oh, okay.
A company. Anyone that interacts
with money
in the economy
in
any way. Like a rock is not an economic actor because you can use the rock, but it doesn't take actions, you know? So, it's
my brain.
So by seeing them as logical actors, you're actually whacking up everyone because the problem
then is that they're not. They're either not logical or illogical. There's something in the middle.
Yeah, but you see them as purely logical.
Yeah, you can see them as purely logical.
And seeing them as purely logical doesn't, and it also tries to hide the uncertainty in economics.
Yes.
And the part of economics that's just, human behavior.
Random and chaos.
Yeah, and unpredictable human behavior.
Yes.
You know, not even companies that sometimes have like 100 people to make a decision are completely logical. You know, they are high. They have higher degrees of
Yes.
logical thinking because you don't take a decision alone. But there are effects of group thinking, and there are effects of like social interaction that affect how a group makes a decision.
Yes.
Just because you're in a group doesn't mean you aren't.
You're making a better decision.
Yeah, like a good example is always like the.
Sometimes it's the reverse, actually.
Too many
like
cooks.
always, it's like you can convince each other to do stuff.
Yeah.
Groups are sometimes more likely to take.
There was
risks sometimes.
There was this concept that I do not remember the name of now, and I am very sorry. But sometimes, because you think the group thinks something, and we all share this thought, no one agrees with it.
Yeah, but we all think
the others also agree with it, so we all go in the same direction.
Yeah.
That has a name. It's
I don't remember, but yeah,
it's a cultural. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. I learned that in the psychology of groups, but I don't remember the name specifically. But like a good example they always give is the explosion of Challenger, because when they went back and checked a bunch of stuff, like a lot of people just thought, "Oh, this is NASA. They wouldn't make this mistake," so they just checked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were moments of like that, where they just assume stuff would be well done because of like the authority, both of the group and of the people in it. So, and this is one example of how things can go bad in group, So
that's a fallacy, by the way. It's a authority fallacy, literally.
Yeah.
It happens in speech, and it can also happen in stuff like that.
Yeah, but because someone who is in a position of authority knows better.
And the reverse too. See, when someone if someone that doesn't have a degree or something speaks about something, you tend to not listen to them as much as you would if they did, even if it's not related to the topic they're talking about.
Just having the doctor behind the name.
Yeah, they have the doctor. Oh, they're a doctor. They know what they're talking. No, they don't. They know about the specific area.
Very niche.
And it's usually very niche. And even in that area, they're just doctors.
Yeah, they're one of the scientists.
That only goes to show that even three nobodies like us can have a point.
Yes.
And not have a point.
And not at the same time.
No, but it's
a super state.
Okay, how about we drop the economics and go back to
talk about quantum mechanics?
No.
Yeah, but going back to that point of like, how school affects, I think there's a bit of actual hard brainwashing.
Yes.
With history, for example.
Yes, that's the point I was going to make.
Like
the history is written by the winners, yeah?
Yes.
100%. And the Western world are clearly the winners, and we're part of it.
Yes.
That is what it is right now.
So, we won't learn so much
Portugal was the last to abolish slavery in the Europe.
Yeah.
We were also one of the countries that started.
But we did stuff like we banned it in Portugal, in continental Portugal.
Yes.
There were basically no slaves in continental Portugal because you need slaves in the plantations.
We started the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you always like, but they.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that.
Exactly.
We do, but we talk about it like if it was a win.
And you go over it like it's like discoveries.
We conquered this, and
some slaves,
but then discoveries.
Yeah.
Slaves now bad. Oh yeah, but now we do some stuff. Yeah.
And then the empire fell. It just fell.
Out of nowhere. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed?
And it just fell. And then you get into the 20th century, and then slavery and then colonialism is super evil because it was done by the dictatorship. So it's allowed to be evil.
That's something else. I don't know if you guys felt this. Because for those who don't know, Portugal was under a dictatorship for a while. Then we had the revolution. But after, in school, when you learn about that, you learn the revolution, you don't learn the consequences of it.
Yeah.
And you don't learn, like, the whole process after?
Yeah.
It was a very complex situation, if you were there alive at the time, you didn't know if the democracy would last. Representational democracy would
yes.
last. You didn't know that. It was very unstable for a while. You
It's
had
uncertain.
you had provisional government and like creating a constitution. All that is hard, especially when the revolution was done by military means.
Yes.
Meaning that the military now has to give up all that power, you know, and you know
there was also something that I've learned.
It was a complex
few years
situation.
ago that in the older generations there's a big, I'm going to say hatred, but it's, at some points could be a dislike of the Communist Party
because
There's no dislike button now.
yeah, because there was some.
There's a plugin actually. That's pretty good.
Because of that
What?
period of uncertainty.
Stop. No, stop.
Yeah, there's a
Why
plugin.
would you want the plugin for the dislike button? It doesn't work.
No, it works.
it
You
makes
can
it work
see
again.
it. You can see the number of dislikes. If
How?
you,
But why? It doesn't make any.
because they didn't stop counting them. They just stopped
They
going
just
them.
don't show. Yeah, that's the.
So
yeah.
it's an extension.
Oh my.
You can go on Chrome or Opera and download
I
the
was happier
extension.
before I knew this.
It's just
I'm sorry.
it's an extension, you know. You can download it.
I was happier before I knew this.
At the time, I always thought that. I also thought it was like, oh, it won't work.
Let's proceed. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
this interruption.
So what I was saying is that during that period of uncertainty, not all military leaders that had done the revolution, they didn't agree. That's why the uncertainty was, and not everyone was on the provisional government agreed, and there always was a big contingent of communists
Yes.
on that communist group
A
people
little bit of Portuguese history for
on that revolution, because they were probably the only other party that existed in the dictatorship, because no parties were allowed, and they were like the ones that were.
It was a very bloody affair.
No,
People killed each other for this.
Some people say they
Despite the revolution being hailed as a
It
non-violent one.
the 25th.
The 25th of April, yeah.
It was bloodless.
It was bloodless, but the events that led to it were not bloodless at all. Like
And the ones after it. There was a lot of blood.
There's a lot of stuff that wasn't.
Yeah.
And
course,
the only reason we're mentioning this is not because we're Portuguese. It's because it is not really talked about. You talked about it.
Yeah, we're giving examples of stuff.
Even the
that's not-
colonial war. You don't talk about it.
Yeah, we
a
don't
lot.
talk about
You
colonial war.
You skip
But, like-
right over it about
but,
the colonial war.
Our grandparents fought them.
What I honestly want our listeners to think about is every war that your country went through, it's told to you in the light of the winners.
Yeah.
So if you take a moment to think, like every every war, everything that it was, we only see the version. So I'm gonna be very.
We don't see the losing side.
Yeah, we don't
There's
see the losing
one
side.
perspective of this.
I'm gonna be very crude here, but if the Nazis had won, we would probably be saying good things about the Nazis.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's
They were saying them during the war, so
Yeah.
they were probably kept going.
So
And even without going that extreme, you know, the Allies,
they didn't.
they abscond everything bad they did during the World War.
it's
the World Wars,
completely
you never talk about
obscured,
it.
yeah.
And the first one was just a war between empires. It
Yeah.
wasn't. There were no evil. Everyone was
Everyone was evil.
an
Yeah.
empire. So
But it's not.
everyone's
It's
evil.
not talked about, and it's.
because
I think it's a problem because it helps propagate a certain mentality. It helps.
Yeah, the bad versus the good.
Yeah. Which is not how history works.
It's not how anything works. Everyone has everyone's evil in their own way because everyone has their own agenda. Everyone has their self-interests, right? And that's what they're trying to protect. They're not trying to advocate for world peace. Yeah. Some people are,
but not countries.
But not countries. Yeah. So
there's also an argument to be made that by not really speaking about the period properly, about the period of our dictatorship, there's an argument to be made that has allowed in recent times for the radical right to rise.
100%.
Yes,
I think 100%.
Mainly because they're actually using ideas that the dictatorship used.
If you don't actually teach,
and the radical left. All radical
also
groups.
as well. It's not a one-sided thing.
If you don't tell someone that slavery was awful and why it was awful, that the dictatorship was awful and exactly why it was awful, that the colonial wars were awful and why then people just go, maybe it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thought. Really scary. Really
We
scary.
still have people saying that Portugal was better under secret police and under the dictatorship's rule.
yeah. Because there,
A lot of old people say that.
Yeah,
a lot,
still.
a lot of, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't actually really tell people what's going on, then time cures a lot of things, and one of them is memory goes really fast.
Yeah,
memory goes really fast, and if you don't really teach people what it was like, then and because what's scary to me is not that old people would think that, is that our generation that didn't live through any of this, will start to think, and it has,
because we've seen people that we know start to align with those ideas.
We've lived in representative democracy all our lives.
Yes,
one inside the EU already, so with a very strong democracy already. It's very young, but very strong already, very stable already.
Yeah.
Those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it. I don't know who said that, but someone very smart.
It's not. Yeah, it's
smarter than me.
It's not repeat, but you'll make mistakes
Mistakes again.
Very similar, and I think that's when it fails. And I think it fails because our country and modern countries are still trying to save an image of themselves.
Yes,
are trying to still build this fake image of national pride.
Yeah.
And until we are allowed to dispel that and actually start and it's about everything. I think modern countries have not yet understood that a democracy needs a different type of learning and education. You can't teach for democracy how you did before.
Education itself is very outdated. There's a very interesting concept and idea in a video on the internet. I can't really name it right now, but of this lawyer trying to showcase a jury that education hasn't evolved and it's still very factory work-like.
It is.
Yes.
Because it is.
You're supposed
let's not cut around it.
We should talk about that.
Yeah. How about right now?
Yes, this is the correct episode to talk about.
You're supposed to work after you get out of school.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are formatted to stop learning at the edge of grade 12, maybe going to university, and straight up going to work.
Yeah.
Straight up.
That's what's supposed to happen. Yeah.
That's why school exists.
It's not that it's a bad choice. It's just it's presented to you like it's the only choice.
Yes.
Because it is the only choice. Unless you're very, very rich.
Yeah. I mean,
very well.
I was talking more morally, not dystopian reality like. That was not what I meant.
But everyone needs. That's the thing.
No, everybody needs a job.
You are forced to work, so they teach you to do that. That's
forced labor.
In a sense,
sounds like slavery with extra steps. Sorry.
In a sense, that's what capitalism is. Let's keep moving.
Every system, it's kind of like that. Someone has to work for society to function.
You need to labor, but everyone. But okay, let's not, please.
This is a big hole we're going.
Yes,
that's gonna change.
It's gonna be a different episode.
Yeah, that's gonna change the topic.
We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. Eventually, in a year or two or something. I don't know.
When we're older and don't care about it.
When we're stilted and apathetic.
No, when we just don't care. When we're...
when you get there, that's the thing about this episode. When you get there, we'll probably have different opinions on what we're talking right now. Because
our opinion on education will have changed. Because we will have changed and the world will have changed.
Yes.
So
I hope.
Yeah.
It will. It might be for the worse, but it will.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope it's not for the worse.
It probably is.
It's
probably for the better as well.
Hey, but what about those factory classrooms?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that's the idea, If you're supposed to, and I think
by the way, sorry to interrupt. That goes with what I said about brainwashing. So that's what I meant. You're being formatted to work to live
in a specific environment.
Not a factory specifically, but in a work environment.
But that's the thing. I think the schools kind of morphed. At the beginning, I think it was only for you to work.
Yeah,
they were supposed only to give you enough skills so you could work. You need to read and write. You need to know how to do basic math.
And it's not like it's not necessary, right? If you are going into
everyone
a
needs
work environment, you need to learn how to be there.
Yeah, we need labor. Yeah, we need labor.
If you're going to be in their environment, you should learn how to be in their environment.
Yes.
And I'm a big defender of that. And I don't think that our education system is really geared to do that properly.
I think we're going back into higher education.
Yeah.
And that's more complicated
but again,
than that.
It's not just about doing it properly. It's like because formatting people, young people, kids, to think that is their only choice.
Because it is.
That's not my point.
Yeah, I know.
It's not that. Yeah, you have to work. That's fine. But it's one thing to say you are going to work after this. You need to learn how to be there, and there's nothing else in your life.
Yeah,
because some kids
I think
feel
what
like
he means is that you, at least here, you're kind of forced to go into STEM. So science,
but that's
engineering,
because
that too, like it's like
you're kind of forced to go into a specific
discipline
direction.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to work. That's a given, unless you're very wealthy. But you could work in something different. You could be different.
Sciences, literature, arts, but sometimes we are. I say we.
Or you can or you can build your own corporations, stuff like that. That's just you just don't talk about that.
Yeah. They just throw that buzzword around. How do you say it in English? Empreendedorism?
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, entrepreneurship. Which is, it's probably.
It really means nothing to me.
Because right now it means scam. If you read that word on the internet, you're gonna be scammed. I'm just saying it.
Oh, it's good.
It's true. It's true, man. It's true.
The entrepreneurship is okay. It just means that
if you read that word online.
Yeah. It's like crypto. Just stay out of it, kids. Yeah. Unless you really know what you're doing.
Don't do it.
It's first hand drugs, man.
100%.
Like.
It's gonna pay off one of these days.
Jesus. No, like entrepreneurship. It's like the new age of information. There's a collection of things that were corrupted in this new age of information. For like meditation and spiritual practices, completely obliterated. Cryptocurrencies, NFTs. Which were born and died with the new age.
Remember when the concept of NFTs was floating around and we said, oh yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
NFTs are not cool anymore, guys.
Jesus Christ.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
We were talking about the technology, nothing else.
Yes. Technology is good.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
The technology is very interesting.
Not used well.
It was the use we as humans gave to it is completely stupid.
Yeah, it's
like
twisted.
completely
it falls in line with what I
scam.
Yeah. What we do best.
Yeah. And other stuff, but if we learned that in school, so if we had a bit of knowledge about not spiritual practices or crypto, yes, but entrepreneurship, we could definitely learn a bit about that in school. If we knew what the word even meant, maybe it would be different. Maybe if we knew the concept of starting our own products, for example, and publishing them and whatever. Those kinds of things that every person starting their own company needs to know and learn. Maybe.
We don't need to go that far.
Maybe people wouldn't be scammed so easily.
That's true. That is well.
I think that's just
But there's something else.
Reality of life.
Why
people will be scammed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why doesn't education teaches us how to be financially safe, or how to do your taxes?
That's a very big, broad.
I know, but you know what I mean. How to be a functioning member of society and and a nation. You know what I mean?
Wait. But for you to go to work,
you don't need that.
Expend all your energy there and then come back, eat and sleep. Do you need that?
You don't.
No. So you are a force. You are labor. Personified.
Yeah, but that's everything. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's
you need to understand it.
I'm very scared right now.
A very dystopian Philippe here.
But
you don't understand.
True.
You locked eyes with me.
Yeah, I saw that.
But that's what I mean. That's part of the formatting of the brain, because okay, I'm gonna sound real. What's it called? What's the word I want?
I don't know. You didn't say it yet.
theory, not theory, conspiracy. I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist. The government wants you to be, as you said, as labor personified.
Yeah, but
labor personified.
Yeah, that's not a conspiracy.
That's just the truth.
That's just the truth. I'm really sorry, my guy. That's what I meant. I'm really sorry to burst your bubble. Okay? I really am.
I'm just saying I was going to sound like one because I'm talking like one.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
No, but if the government wants you to be a certain way, obviously they're not going to teach you how to be. Let's call it
everything else.
Yeah, everything else. That's fine. You know what I mean?
But because that's
so there's a part of it.
If they want you to live to work, why would they teach you to work to live?
Yeah,
it's stupid. They want you to expand yourself in labor.
I'm very depressed right now.
I understand. It's like.
How are you depressed? Haven't you thought about this?
No, I have, but he's depressing me.
Just accept. We're all gonna die. I'm really sorry. I'm being extra. Yo, it's just this.
It's the new studio, guys. It's not doing it.
I'm really sorry.
Help me!
It's the light.
I'm really sorry. I'm just very in these topics. It's just very, you know.
Yeah, it's close to home.
It's just so understood. You know, we have understood this for a long time,
and yet we're still here.
And yet we're still here. It is kind of that, you know. And I'm not saying it's like. There's an intent in education to change it. There are parts of education where you can feel, okay, they really are trying to do something different here. And I'm not saying that like education is like a one entity and like no one is trying to do anything different. I feel there are important things being done to change how education is doing that. And I feel
it's slow change. It takes
it's extremely slow. I think that's the main critique. Because if you look at education
that's a problem with democracy in general.
No.
I understand what you mean.
It's very slow at taking steps, but
but
there are also safer steps.
What I feel that but democracy doesn't take slow steps in itself. It takes a huge step, and then the guys after take the huge step back, and then you're just here. But sometimes it ends in bad, like in Portugal with education.
Yeah,
you are really in a mess right now, like of. Who answers to who, for example, in education. You are in the worst possible intermediate stage of centralization and decentralization of education. It's neither fully centralized nor fully decentralized.
To everybody out there, it's a goddamn mess.
Yeah, it's really messy, and so I feel that here, for example, I'm not saying it's like it can really create a weird situation, for example, right now, and. My thing is, I've always thought that education should be more liberal in the sense that if a teacher is someone who finished a lot of education to do what they are doing, maybe you should give them a little bit more leeway in how they teach what they teach.
Yes.
And in them choosing what should be.
But no, because they have to be. The kids have to know this stuff, because otherwise they won't be good at their labor, Philip.
I think education benefits a lot from decentralization. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I think education
like crypto. So,
Jesus Christ.
Are we going to make crypto schools now? Is that it?
Please don't.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Why would you need a scam school?
A very cool channel on YouTube. You should check it out. Scam School. Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, it is.
Oh, I did not know that. So, I guess. But what I'm saying is that education benefits. So for example, I really dislike the idea of principal.
Yeah. Oh, a headmaster.
Yeah, it's stupid. Why it shouldn't just? It should just be.
There should be someone for admin, but that's it.
Yeah, but you could have but you have administrators for that.
The school.
Yeah, those are
the admins.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And then you have a collegial board. Yeah, like the teachers between themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, regulate the freaking school.
How about hey, let's just start a school.
Let's start the school. The Ramble school. Let's go.
I'm really.
We can't be called the Ramble school. No one's going to apply.
But okay,
Why?
You're gonna teach your kids to ramble?
People love to ramble.
Yeah, people just love it naturally.
Everybody loves to ramble.
I think this is doomed to fall. not gonna go.
But I just feel like schools benefit a lot from that.
Yeah.
From that like more liberal approach. I think education it's about
Because
a lot
education-
about sharing.
Learning is about playing.
Yeah.
So
It shouldn't be as strict, and I think putting schools and educational like institutions in that structure of like a company of like CEO and then the pyramid down, it's weird.
because they're teaching you how real
True.
companies work.
True. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's like a thing, like transferring those methods of working from companies to the public sector.
Yeah.
But it's not work. Not in schools, not in hospitals, not anywhere. It doesn't work.
yeah,
Because,
in public institutions. Yeah.
yeah, because they don't want to make profit. So they don't.
Yeah.
They just don't. So
By the way, CEOs work in companies because the aim of the company is to make a profit. So the aim of a public institution shouldn't be to make a profit,
and it isn't.
but to serve the public.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's provide a good service.
yes,
And so, and you can, and you should have administrators. You should do
you
it
need
efficiently.
administrators.
No. But what I mean, good
Otherwise, nothing works.
a good administrative system, so it could be efficient. I'm not saying like throw money to the wall, but you don't need.
Sometimes.
But I'm saying you don't need it's not it's not the main point of a public institution. So I think all schools lost a lot from that.
Yes.
Yep.
They really lost a lot from losing that freedom.
And the people who suffer more are the kids.
Poor kids.
They
Save
usually
the kids.
are, man.
Minute
They
of
usually-
silence for the kids.
They ain't dead.
No. Sorry, please don't do it.
I mean, it's too long. It's way too long.
Let's do a second.
It's done.
Okay.
So we were touching a bit on the education structure, so we can go on about talking about that. What do you guys think about the structure of? So we just talked about the hierarchical structure of a school and university works
same.
in a similar way. I don't think we've talked about how in university the teachers aren't teachers. Have we touched on that? I don't remember if we touched on the first episode.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
It's something we've talked about extensively outside of the podcast.
Yes.
But I think we touched on it on the first one, but
Yeah.
very briefly.
So
Passing by.
we have teachers sometimes know very well what they are talking about, but they don't know how to teach what they're talking about.
Yeah, mostly because they
Mainly
are experts on the
university.
area, because they work on the field, they do a lot of research on it, but the vast majority didn't really have a background in education.
Yeah, they're scientists.
Yeah, they're scientists. Well, right, in the realms of science.
They're whatever first. They're
Yeah.
If they're a linguistics teacher, they're a linguist first
Yes.
and then a teacher.
Yeah,
That's so.
Yeah.
Even
A
if
teacher in the realm of arts is not a scientist. That's what I
it's
mean.
an
Yeah.
artist, no, they're an artist first, and then
Doesn't publish like articles?
No, they probably have. I could be
Yeah,
wrong,
you
but
could
I
make
think-
a critique
you
of a
can
book.
make-
So
yes.
they
Critique,
probably have.
but-
They probably have.
I would say
articles.
it's
I
more
would
like
say
they
so.
have a background
know.
in
But is
that
it
realm of
scientific?
education. You know what I mean?
He's psychologist.
can
Is
you
history
even
science?
apply but can you even apply because you can apply the scientific
Yeah,
method
you
to
can.
psychology, but you can't. Can you apply it in art?
I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Artists don't know what art is. Okay,
But I
no,
think,
it's a thing.
Yeah, but
it's a thing. They don't. But there are different
So-
schools to define art, and everybody is headbutting each other because they don't agree with each other.
But that's science as well.
That's science too.
True,
Yeah. So
but it's not. It's not
maybe-
really.
so maybe-
Headbutting
yeah,
is
but-
part of the experience, man.
are we making art? Are we making art right now? Who knows?
We're making content. That's how they talk about it.
Content.
That's how they
Content.
say it.
That's how the cool kids say it
Yeah,
now.
It's content. It's content. Because content is
I'm not an artist. I make content.
Yeah,
I'm a content creator.
yeah,
that's,
because content creates money.
Content creates conflict.
Money.
what?
It's an artsy way of saying it.
Okay.
What creates conflicts? Why?
Listen,
Okay, sure.
Don't.
I will
Just
not.
let
I will
it-
not. But I understand what
let
you mean.
that
They're
one.
a specialist in their area
Yes.
first,
Yes.
and
they're not
And they will
always
teach some
teachers.
they will teach some kids if you want them
They
to.
will have to. They'll often have
If
to
you
go
pay them.
through a doctorate.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah.
They can teach without it. In
depending-
public schools, I think they.
Uh,
they can.
You can.
if they are
one of my teachers just
they
had a
are
master's.
guests.
Just a master.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
but
they're
they have.
guest teachers.
But they have a huge. Yeah, but they really, really want you to get that doctorate. The ones who don't, they are like they are probably doing it right now.
No,
No?
They literally are just
Damn. Son.
when you're just the specialist on the field.
Yeah, it is what it is.
that
man.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
what it is, and
Okay.
the university
I have a
can say
teacher-
anything.
Okay.
I have a teacher that I'm pretty sure he doesn't have.
Okay,
He's quite
most
old.
Teachers.
Yeah. So
He's quite old, so I'm not sure that he has the equivalent. But since he's an expert in the field, he's
but-
like, just come over.
But he's been there, he's that old. He's probably, they probably have given him something.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's equivalent. You know what I mean? It's
There
like-
are a lot of universities out there that give that to writers, right?
Okay.
Neil Gaiman has
I don't know if they do that in Portugal.
yeah, but
I
I
don't
know
know
that
if you can
Neil
do that
Gaiman has
in-
a degree or certificate or whatever they call it. Like he didn't graduate from that
Yeah.
school, but they gave him one
Yeah,
because he's that good.
yeah. I don't know if you can do that in like the European Union because you all share the same.
you can have honoris causa.
Can? Okay.
Yes. So they are recognized. If a
Okay,
university
I
gives
didn't
you
Honors, that's the one. Thank you.
yes. So yes, you can have an honors PhD. So you never went to class,
yeah,
but university recognizes you as an
okay.
expert in that field.
Okay. But is it the same as a normal PhD?
Yes.
Okay.
You just didn't go
Okay,
there.
I don't know, I don't really know.
There was a singer recently, like a year ago,
Okay.
that received a PhD on, I think, music.
Yeah.
But she never went to. And
He never got
it wa-
formal education.
yeah, it was controversial. Like,
Oh, some people thought he
'cause some
didn't, didn't deserve it?
I don't remember anything about this, but
Yeah, I don't know it happened in the first
Okay.
place. So.
okay. I
know
was
about it.
trying to use it as an example, but then I
Yeah, it
failed.
works.
No, I understand what you mean. I
Yeah.
just don't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
My university actually, like every year, has like
A few.
a few, and they email everyone saying, so these were the people this year.
Oh,
And
one of
they
those
just-
emails nobody reads. Okay.
I do sometimes when I'm
No,
very
but
bored,
it's- Yeah.
and they justify why. So
Oh, okay.
why that
Makes
person?
sense.
Honors on this because of this.
Yes.
It makes sense because they will have a degree. And,
Yes.
And your college or university has to answer for that degree.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you are your university is responsible for the degrees they give
Yes. I agree with this kind of.
out. I'm not
I think it
against
needs to be
I'm just-
very regulated,
That's
and
what
it
I'm
is,
saying.
and it is. But
yeah, it's a university. They can do it.
But-
And they can do that a lot.
But I
think
agree
they can
that
do that a lot.
some you can recognize some people as experts even though they never went through formal
Yeah,
education.
I
That's-
agree.
But why are we talking about this? Because not every teacher is a teacher in university.
Yes,
So
Most of them are.
most of them don't know how to teach.
almost all of them, like 90%.
Because none of them wanted to be most of them didn't want to be teachers. They wanted to specialize in their field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So giving class is just like a thing they have to
it's,
do.
it's
A thing
the
on the
thing
side.
it's the thing they have to do to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
They want to do research.
because and they want to live. So joining those two together and I think some teachers the problem I think is that they are put in a very formal context.
Yes.
Like they have 200 students in front of them. The only way they can teach them is to present the stuff.
Yeah, it's just a presentation. They just read the slides.
You can teach 200 people at the same time.
The same way. The same way you would teach the 30 people.
You can do those group things you were talking about.
Yeah,
Okay, you can
They
possibly.
try. They
You can-
try. Sometimes it works.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
no, they create a group and say, figure yourself out.
Yeah.
Like,
In management classes, it kind of works because you
you should be learning.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You
Yeah,
should,
it
but
depends.
with first years,
Yeah, no, it's impossible.
so they are forced into because I think many of them, if you put them in a situation where they could talk with the students, have a more open space, they would give much better lectures because that's what they are used to doing in their field, But being forced to do presentations, you'll get some very neat presentations.
Yes.
And there's also the
It's
fact
just
that
the situation, I think.
it's not just in university too, but because some teachers actually prefer to teach to students of a given age group.
Yes.
So some university, I've heard this from a teacher of mine that said, I love teaching specifically to master's students because the regular degree ones, they're just not mature enough for my taste. I can't deal with them. They say this.
No, it's just they haven't been burned down through the grinds of the first cycle.
I would agree with year one. I understand that.
I think it's the ones that
because there's still a little bit of teenager left. You know what I mean?
I think it's the ones that did those 3 years and thought I want more, and those ones are like. If they want more, they just
if you get into masters, it's because you're invested.
Yeah, you're there.
Unless are those integrated masters or those masters you have to do.
I think that's. I'm going to be honest. I think that's a problem that arises mainly in Europe, probably because we are
because education is so
free. Is so affordable.
Yeah,
in the majority of Europe. So I
most
think
people do try it at least.
Exactly. So I think some people go into into university
without
any real
knowing what they're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing, what I'm gonna do after.
I didn't. My first year, I didn't. I just I took a huge gamble with psychology. I took a huge gamble.
Kind of paid off.
Yeah, it did. But
paid off,
but it could have not.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of kids also are doing that gamble because they finish high school and they don't really have.
But that's also the people that gave us that opportunity are also to blame for not teaching us how to use it.
Yes.
True. So,
true. So, yeah, no. We've talked about this when episode 2 of this podcast.
Yes.
We talked about this when we talked about learning to learn. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody.
We should cover that again.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Maybe we jump from this to that.
Yeah.
We should.
We'll do the first episode. I know first was creative.
Yeah, creativity.
Makes sense, right?
We'll do learning to learn revamped.
Maybe, yeah. Because I've learned a lot about learning.
Yeah.
Meta learning.
But Meta.
Metal. It's quite metal, man.
Metal learning.
No, but that's the thing. People who want to learn also want to be taught how to learn because most people don't learn it in middle school, high school, even university. It took me years to understand what the fuck I needed to do because no one. And I understand that in some environments there's no real hand holding. You just need to figure it out.
Yeah.
But at some point, it should happen.
Yeah,
but it's the same.
They just drop you.
It's the same as when your parents take you to the park. At first, they go and they hold your hand, and then you start using the slides and whatever. And then he's just out there looking at you. Like that's how school should work. You don't just push your kid and go like, hey,
come on, do your thing.
Do your thing.
Yeah,
and he's just there crying, sitting in the middle of the field.
Yeah, they hold your hand all the way through, and then they throw.
Okay, hey, see that slide?
Hey, little Timmy, you want to go to school? Yeah, sure.
Because it's pretty much.
It's pretty much it.
It's pretty much it. Yeah, it is. No, because the first years is like, do you want to go to school? Let's go together. And you do this for 12 years. And then after that,
figure yourself out, man.
And then you say, "Oh, we're going to school again." Yeah, sure. Your problem.
Literally sounds like a you problem. Yeah.
And it's. I think that's the problem. It's so drastic.
Yeah.
And everything is like a presentation you do in high school. Everything is from Wikipedia and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it's very
teachers tell you not to do it. We still did it.
And the people
everyone did it.
Yeah. And the cool thing is with using instead of PowerPoint it's Prezi.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Oh my god, it's revolutionary.
It's like
animated PowerPoint presentations.
Oh my god,
you know that?
extra point on your score.
And then you go to university and everyone is using the same template. Everyone went to the same site, get the template. And
so some even enforce it.
Yeah.
Like, some even
Some
like,
teachers,
yeah, some
gotta
teachers
use
are
this.
like, you use this one template, and then like, no, it's ugly.
Yeah, and their template is like a white,
So
a white
ugly.
thing and a line or something like that.
So ugly. It's like white with
A
like,
few lines.
a
or something.
border,
Yeah, a
like,
border, yeah.
from
And
2 centuries
yeah.
ago. It's so
Yeah.
so bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but that's what it's like, what we're saying, they drop you, and then university teachers, they don't care.
I've had the
Okay,
luck.
some
I've
do.
had the luck
Some do.
and the privilege to have some that actually care.
But what I'm saying with care is like, in high school, if you start missing classes, they'll call your parents, they'll talk to you and say, oh, why are you missing? What's going on? If you start missing classes in university, I guess you failed. Better luck next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge change.
Difference, yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge. Because
And like, you're not even allowed to pee, man, when you want.
Yeah.
In school. And then you go to university and you can, if you want, you can skip class.
Yeah.
There's a sudden freedom, and you're like,
Yes.
oh, I can do whatever the hell I
with
want.
that freedom comes a huge
Huge
responsibility
responsibility, yeah.
that you never had to deal with.
Yeah.
With
And
power
that's-
comes responsibility. I'm sorry.
With great power.
With great power comes
All right,
great
Spider-Man.
responsibility.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's, you know, it's night and day, you know?
It's a learning experience
Yeah,
that I think everybody needs to go
Yeah.
through.
but
Yes.
yeah, but that
I
first
just
year,
think there should be a better way to learn that lesson.
yeah, because during that first year, or at least that first semester, you're gonna feel a lot, my God.
Oh yeah,
Because you're gonna look at that freedom and you're gonna say,
I can do it.
I
It's
really
fine.
want to taste the freedom and everything else. I'll figure it out at the end.
Yes.
And then you don't figure it out. You don't. It's not figured out.
Yeah.
I think this is a great place to,
Cut
because
it.
we're getting into like university life. Yes. And challenges. So I think we can.
Yeah, we can cut it.
Do you want to say anything else to our eventual public?
Try to have fun.
That's a
man.
no.
Just
That's a
try to have fun,
Fun.
bro.
The main message from this podcast is you are labor.
Jesus Christ. From
You know
this,
what? That's gonna be the title. That's gonna be the title of this one.
let's roll the credits before this gets a lot more messy. Yeah.
You can support the show by subscribing to our YouTube channel or listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you want more, you can follow us on Instagram at RambleBoxOfficial. That's RambleBoxOfficial. Or you can check for more content in theramblebox.com. That's theramblebox.com. Links are in the description. That's the end of the show. We'll see you next time. Bye!